and welcome to the Season 4 finale of Mads World. I'm your host, Mads, and I hope you've been enjoying the show so far. If you have, please remember to subscribe, rate, and review the podcast, and follow me on Instagram. It's at madsworld.mp3. This week, for our season finale, we are investigating all things Softbois. If you aren't currently dating or putting yourself through the trials of dating apps, you might be wondering what a softboy is. In an interview with The Guardian, my next guest, Iona David, describes softboys as alternative and emotionally exploitative with a superiority complex. She says there's a softboy spectrum. At one end, it's just anyone who has any unique or alternative interests that make them feel superior to other people. At the other end is quite hardcore, emotionally manipulative men who use these interests to really mess about with women or men. But there's so many people in between on the spectrum, so there's no one real definition. Owner of the iconic Instagram page Beam Me Up Softboi, Iona created the page a few years ago to curate the best dating app, DM, and text message screenshots from around the world of softboy shenanigans. It has since gained a cult following of over 627,000 people and has become a classic part of modern dating culture. Apart from her passion of writing, Iona enjoys trashy sitcoms, sad music, cured meat, trash beach novels, and supermarkets. Hello, Iona.
Hey, thank you for having me.
How are you?
I'm good. Yeah, very busy, but in a good way.
In a good way. Is it busy? Is it Beam Me Up Softboi busy, or is it just life busy?
He's mostly Beam Me Up Softboi busy, plus just like being an adult and like having to cook food for myself takes up like so much of my day.
Oh my god, honestly.
So it's just like, that's like half my time. I'm like, okay, what am I going to eat?
Seriously, and do you ever just get depressed that you're like, oh my god, I have to cook and then do the dishes like 3 times a day, every day for the rest of my life?
It's not a choice. It's not a choice.
It's not a choice. Like, I really would love to be a child again. Like, I was thinking about this recently. It's just depressing.
I know, honestly. Bring back school meals. They were
great. We don't have school meals in Australia, you know. You have to bring your own lunch every
not?
single day. No, it's not a thing.
Oh my god. I mean, that's probably for the best. They were a little bit traumatic on some days, like the peas and the carrots. They weren't good. But anyway, sorry, what was your question?
I can't remember, but let's jump into our speed date question round so our listeners can learn a little bit more about you. So I am very excited to have you on the podcast because you are the owner, the creator, and everything that goes into Beam Me Up Softboi, one of my favorite Instagram pages. So my first question is, what is the best thing that has happened to you recently?
I moved flat, like I said. I moved flat and I moved really close to an Aldi, and that actually changed my life. I was literally just thinking about this as I was walking around it. I'm like 3 minutes away from an Aldi.
Wow.
And I've just never experienced something so beautiful.
That is amazing.
So that is probably the best. Or also I went sober kind of recently. Well, I did a sober stint like of a few months recently, and that was big, like in a more general good sense instead
That's
of like
amazing. I actually have a couple of episodes like in this podcast from going sober. Like I did it for like 9 months this year, but then I'm kind of like easing back into like, attempting moderation at the moment. So yeah, that's totally in keeping with the theme of this podcast because...
Well, yeah, I listened to your one with Brutal Recovery.
Did you? She's great, isn't she?
Yeah, I love her, honestly. One of my favorites. Except like, because I'm trying moderation now, I went out on a Thursday night recently and then like I was so hungover watching like the Friday Fun Times, watching all of the horror stories, and I was like, oh my god, no. I can't be watching these right now.
Yeah, it's a lot, isn't it?
It is a lot, but it's so good. Yeah, I admire her so much.
My next question is, what is your go-to line if you were to slide into someone's DMs?
I'm so basic, and I haven't changed my line since I was like 15. It's just like hey with 2 Y's and like an X. It's actually pathetic.
Oh my god, I think that's a little bit better than mine. Mine's just the eyes that are looking sideways.
Oh, I love that. You've got to keep it simple. If I've learned anything from this page, you've got to keep it simple. You can't be putting more than like 1 or 2 words.
Hey with like 10 Y's. It's a lot. Like it's too much.
Yeah.
So next question, what are your thoughts on dating apps?
They're like a necessity. Like we need them, and that's changed so quickly. Like we need them a lot now. But I don't know. I'm not a big fan. I've been thinking a lot about it recently. And a fun fact that I didn't know is that Tinder and Hinge, which are obviously like probably the two most popular in the UK, are both just like straight owned by the same company.
Are they?
Yeah. So they're just like, they just have like slightly different target audience. So they're like, oh, we'll put a flame for Tinder and it's like cool and sexy. And then like we'll make people do prompts on Hinge, but like it's just two separate parts of like one company's marketing tactic, who also own like Match.com.
Yeah, I was going to say, I think they own Match.com, which is like, I think targeted at older people. So that's really interesting.
And it's all profit. I just don't like it. Like I feel like they can work, and I've met some great people on dating apps, but I don't love the way that it's all set up. But I feel like Bumble is, because that's another big one. I feel like that's probably okay. I don't know. But yeah, I've only recently started using them again, and you can either feel really good about yourself or it feel really bad.
It's a weird world. I kind of like having a break from them too. I think it's important for like your mental health to just get off there for a bit. And I think now that the world's opening up a lot in the UK, I've met loads of nice people out and about, which I'm feeling very good about, because I kind of don't like that you go on a date with someone from an app and you already know that they think you're hot.
Yeah, exactly.
Like there's no chase. It's just a bit transactional and I'm a bit off it.
There's got to be like a better way of doing things. Hopefully, the whole thing is advancing so quickly. Like hopefully there'll be just like we'll all be able to have like a robot or something that can just like locate different people for us and like lead us to them.
Have you seen The One on Netflix or Soulmates on Amazon Prime? It's kind of that premise. So you get like delivered your one soulmate and then you just match with them and then you're instantly in love. But I'm sort of like,
it's really depressing.
Yeah, it's nice, but then I'm like, I don't know, it explores like all the issues and stuff. Like what if your match was a serial killer, you know?
Yeah, serial killer's definitely bad.
So next question is, who is your current celeb crush?
I've read it right. This isn't like a celeb or a crush really, but I feel like I kind of like, we've been watching like Married at First Sight because it's like on in the UK. Yeah, it stole from the Australian one. Like they've changed the format up.
Yes.
But there's this guy on there called Luke, and he just treats women so nicely, and you know his hairline's receding a little bit, but it made me think like we just need a nice guy.
We need a nice guy. I'm actually crying that I've said celeb crush and you've gone from a guy from Married at First Sight.
I feel like I can redo that question because that's like...
No, I liked your answer. It's very good. You could have picked literally anyone. You could have picked Orlando Bloom. You could have Johnny Depp, but you've chosen Luke from Married at First Sight, and I love to see it.
Orlando Bloom, actually, on a separate note, he is like a massive Softboi. He posted this thing in the Sunday Times, and I put it on the Softboi thing, and it was like his daily routine, and it was just like meditate for 10 minutes on like how women suffer like across the world, and I was like, Jesus Christ. But the guy who actual celeb crush, the guy who plays Aragorn in Lord of the Rings, I can't think of his name, but he love him. He's always been the word. I think it's Viggo something. He's stunning. Yeah, he's truly beautiful. Oh, I think my current celeb crush is Bill Skarsgård from he actually plays the clown in It, I'm pretty sure. Nice. But obviously that's not like where I think he's hot from. But I watched this movie yesterday called Villains on Netflix, and it was actually so good. I totally recommend that to anyone listening. It's like about these two people that they're like bandits or they're like robbers or whatever. And they break into this house, and they've broken into the wrong house, let me tell you. But yeah, Bill Skarsgård's in it, and he's so hot, and he's not a clown. Is he in Big Little Lies? I feel like... Yeah, I feel like he's in that as well. But yeah, he's just an absolute dreamboat. Oh my God, wait, he looks like Pete Davidson. I just Googled him. Yeah, he's totally hot. Yeah, fit. Very fit. Fit. Okay, well, he's mine, so you can't steal him. Oh, no. So my final question is, before we go into some of your favourite submissions to Beam Me Up Softboi, is, in your own words, what is a softboi? So a softboi, I really struggle with the definition of a softboi, but for a succinct definition would be a guy who typically has like alternative interests and he kind of feels like he has like an emotional understanding of women, and like he kind of uses that to get them like into bed or in a relationship with him or whatever. He's kind of like a nice guy, like he, as in a nice guy in inverted commas, like he thinks that because he's like so understanding to women, like that they owe him something. But there are so many different kinds of softboi. Honestly, like I've always said that like anyone's a bit of a softboi if they're like wearing Converse. No, not Converse. If they're wearing like Doc Martens instead of Converse, they're a bit of a softboi. Like if they're a little bit edgy, they're a bit of so by definition, like I would also call myself a little bit of a softboi in that sense. But
a soft girl. Do soft girls exist?
Yeah, definitely. But
do they?
They do exist, but not in. It's actually so complicated. I didn't think when I started the page how complicated the whole thing would get, because there are soft girls, but one of the parts of like a big part of being a softboi, not all soft boys are like mean to women, but some of them, in fact quite a few of them are. So then the soft girl thing, it doesn't really come, like the misogyny doesn't come into it as much if you're a soft girl. So it's not really got as much weight. So then I was like, maybe softboi can be like a gender neutral term because it's actually spelled BOI. But then I was like, it is mostly men. Literally, I've just been driving myself insane trying to think of, I said a succinct definition and I've just spent like 3 minutes trying to explain it.
No, I loved it.
Basically, Timothy Chalamet, but a little bit misogynistic.
To help anyone listening that might not have fully grasped what a softboi is, could you read some of your favourite ever submissions to Beam Me Up Softboi, or any that have happened to you personally?
Yeah, so basically for people who don't, like, I just screenshot on the account, I screenshot like dating app profiles or text, people screenshot text message conversations or dating app profiles and they send them in. So this is one we got, which is a Tinder bio, which I feel like sums up the softboi quite well.
Great.
All he's written in the bio is, "I'm sorry, I have a better taste in music than you do." And then his anthem is This It by The Strokes. And then he's got a Brockhampton song and a Libertine song there, which is probably like the three most mainstream alternative musical artists that you could think of. But yeah, the audacity, like there's like subtle misogyny there. There's like there's alternativeness, kind of stupid, but that is one.
I mean, you've got thousands on the page, which I literally am obsessed with. But if you have any more there to hand, we would love to hear them now.
This one is a Tinder pop-up. So the first message she sent to this person on Tinder, opinion, it's all one message. So it's opinion on rim jobs, longest relationship. If you could change one thing in the world, what would it be? Like, what the fuck? When did that become like an acceptable like set of questions to ask to someone you've never met?
Like one after the other.
Yeah, just all like consecutive.
That's the other thing about dating apps. It cuts out this whole like real life interaction. Like, you're not going to sit on a date across from another human and say opinion on rim jobs first thing you say to them. Like, no one's doing that.
I know. I feel like there's just this massive gap between like a normal real life conversation and a digital conversation. And some people just, a lot of soft boys, they just think they just try and get it right, but they get it so wrong. And it's like, it obviously is difficult to be normal when you're texting. Well, like, I don't know, it's a weird thing doing everything online, but there are ways to do it.
Digital etiquette is so, like, it varies from person to person. So I'm someone who will text, like, 10 texts in a row, but then some people will write everything in one message and send it. And, like, apparently sending 10, like, one after the other is desperate. And I'm like, girl, that is just my texting style.
I know, exactly. I've been thinking, like, so much about this. Like, I feel like you have, no one's written, like, digital etiquette. Like, no one's discussed it because it changes so quickly. But I feel like at this stage you have like a normal way of sending messages. It's just sending, like, if you don't know the person, just send like a short message, and then, you know, if you know the person, you might get into a flow where, like, me and my friends, we just send we just send like 10 in a row, and that's normal.
Constant stream, yeah.
If you don't know the person, just like keep it like sane and like
keep it sane.
Just keep it sane, guys.
Do you have any more submissions that you'd be able to read to us?
Yeah, well, this one is more of like a nice guy who is like literally just a just a guy who thinks that he is nice. I don't know. He's like, I'm so nice, women won't sleep with me because I'm too nice. So it's slightly different to a soft boy, but he goes, well, ain't you just perfect, X? And then in a separate message, I seriously mean that, XXX. And then a separate message, sorry, and then like the emoji with a straight line as a face, just being nice, ... X. And then this person goes, thanks, and he goes, fuck off.
Fuck off.
Yeah. Like the spectrum of emotion that this guy is experiencing, like I feel lucky to be able to witness it.
It's like that mentality that, yeah, I've said one nice compliment, now you have to have sex with me. It's just
exactly.
foul, isn't it?
And then she's like, thanks, and he's like, fuck off.
Fuck off. Oh, like I don't know what you're wanting there, mate. That's another classic. Did you have any more, or am I able to read one that I received? And I actually submitted this to you like a year ago, but I found it in our DMs when like I went in to see if I'd like submitted any for my own.
Yeah, no, I'd love to hear it.
So this guy called Sean has just DM'd me like a really long poem. So I don't understand.
Oh my God.
The poem's not about me. I don't know if he's just sending this poem to like lots of girls. I mean, probably, definitely. But let me read to you the poem. So it says, and we've never met. It says, where spirit is weak, words are empty. For most people, there are occasional glimmers of promise, of moments of heartfeltness, where, with precise or careful words, one touches another, even comforts. But these are infrequent, rare, often unrepeatable. Our willingness to know others, truly know them, takes a back seat to wanting to tell them who they are to us. It is that selfishness that delegitimizes all subsequent claims to moral superiority or justifiable, in inverted commas, victory. It is wanting to be the underdog, become overcomer, and in some ways avenger. The same old charade propagated by culture, by art, fanned by an impatience for progress, and on, farcical and absurd. That was the whole message.
God. I literally, as you were reading that, I was thinking like the last time I felt like this is when I had to like go to church as a child and they'd like read out a sermon. Like, it doesn't make any fucking sense. What is that? I'm so sorry that you went through that.
Like, what am I going to reply? It actually does go on and on and on. Like,
There's
I can
so
continue
much
reading
to
it
unpack
if you
there.
like. He goes to Nietzsche as well. Like, he starts referencing Nietzsche.
God. Like, I just want to know, like, because like this happens, like guys send like massive long poems and it's like, has it ever worked on anyone? Because like it's not like some of the texts that I get are like really bad and like emotionally manipulative. This isn't bad, but it's like, has it ever worked for you? Because if it has, then like great, that's really wholesome, but I feel like it hasn't. I feel like that's not going to appeal to anyone.
If there's anyone out there listening that this has ignited something within them and would like to get in touch with Sean, just let me know. But it goes on and on. I'll just finish it because it's beautiful. And also he wants people to hear his poem. So it goes, this is a second message. So he's sent that one. I've not replied. So he sent another. Fools who've chosen a masquerade as their truth and tango as their dance, unaware that their reasons have been tried and retried again at different times and under increasingly clever aliases and pseudonyms. It is only now that they are gaining wind of it, the pure faction of our own BS, what all that we wittingly or unwittingly ingest and digest becomes eventually. We are seeing Nietzsche's eternal recurrence, or more accurately, smelling it.
Oh my God, that got kind of darker. Like he's going into society and like, oh my God.
Yeah, I don't know. And I looked on his profile and he wasn't a poet. He was just a regular guy. I was like, no.
Maybe he was like just having a really weird acid trip or something and he regrets sending those.
I mean, I kind of hope so because...
You can only hope,
So they are some of the best submissions that you've had, plus my own. So I thought we could have a bit of a discussion about Softbois. And I wanted to start with, what made you create the Instagram account, Beam Me Up Softboi?
Basically, my friend, we were like in the first year of uni a few years ago, and my friend got sent by her boyfriend, who is like sweet and lovely, and they're still together now. She got sent this message that was like, oh, like check out this rare weed. Also watch this short movie. It's a sick movie. And then we replied like as a joke. She was like, say you love me, and he was like, watch the movie. Like it's a sick movie. And we were like, oh, that's so funny. And then I posted on my other meme account, which I was very obsessed with at the time, and I posted it and I was like, send me all your favorite Softboi screenshots, and I just got sent so many that I was like, I have to create another account for this. It's too good.
And what is the account named after? Like, did the phrase Softboi originate? Like, did you invent the phrase, or did you get it from somewhere else?
Nah, definitely not. I knew it in the context of like indie Softboi, which is like, I don't know, it just like, I guess it just emerged as a word like around that time. But I definitely didn't invent it. But it was like, it was very much meant to like it was meant to be about indie Softbois and like their alternative tastes and stuff.
And what's the Beam Me Up come from?
I think I was going out a lot. Like I was hungover most of the time. I probably was just like
being weird.
I didn't think about it at all. Yeah.
I love that. It's just like there's nothing to it. It's just Beam Me Up Softboi. And it has just become a phenomenon. Like how many followers does it have now? Like 600,000 people love to read Softboi memes.
Yeah, it's actually crazy. It overtook the account that I started it off like very quickly, and now it's just its own thing.
That's amazing. And what opportunities has running the account given you? So I know you've written for Vice and you've interviewed with The Guardian, or have you like met anyone that you really admire through it? I mean, yeah, it's kind of got a life of its own now, but what has this allowed you to do?
I've got to run a couple of like merch campaigns, which was really fun.
That's
and
cool.
they put some profits to good causes. It's really just the writing. Like again, that started off my other page, not the Softboi page. But writing for Vice, like I started doing that while I was at uni, and just realised that writing is kind of what I want to do. So I've kept doing that, and like I'm working on some stuff at the moment, which should be pretty cool. I don't really like monetizing the account too much. Like I do some merch sometimes, but I feel like as soon as you turn it into like a merch machine, it just gets like, it stops being fun really quickly, and like I want to stay doing it for a while.
No, I totally appreciate that. And I think as well, like especially with Instagram accounts, it's quite transparent when it is becoming monetized, and I think you can lose respect quite quickly if you overly do it, you know?
Yeah, exactly. And I've got like, I'm planning on writing for other publications. That the whole pitching process is like just something I'm learning, because mostly I was at uni while I was running the account, and then I left uni and I've just been writing for Vice, but I want to expand that. And then that can be like something that I've gained from the page.
That's amazing. And if you can send me the links to your different pieces with Vice or any others that you want, if people want to check them out, I'll put a link in the episode description. So
thank you. Yeah, I will.
Who is the most famous person or people that follows Beam Me Up Softboi?
I don't really like, it used to be a thing where you could check, but now I know that Cara Delevingne follows me, and that was huge. I was like, I could just delete the account now. Like, I don't care. But also, I don't know, Florence and the Machine follows me, which I think is pretty cool.
Very cool.
And just so many random, like I just get messages from people being like, oh, did you know this person follows you? And I was like, no, I didn't, but that's really cool. One day I'm going to message Cara, because you can message people that follow you. I'm saving it for like, I'm like, come to my wedding.
Are you going to say hey with 2 Y's?
Yeah.
Hey.
Oh, honestly.
Stunning. Do you think Softbois are forever, or are they just a phase?
I think they're definitely forever. Personally, I feel like they've always existed, and they will always exist. Like, but you never used to be able to like record them in the wild. But now you can just take a screenshot. But I feel like, because I was thinking about it, they have existed like in Friends. I feel like Ross is a Softboi. He's all like, like, why doesn't she love me? Like, I love her so much. And like, he likes foreign films with subtitles and shit like that. So he definitely is one. And
he definitely is.
I mean, yeah, they're definitely always going to be. Hopefully they'll get a little bit less alarming at some point.
That's the thing. I think it's music to my ears that you think they're forever because, like, misogyny aside, I do love a soft boy.
Oh my God,
like,
me
I think
too.
I'm someone that goes to the guys with Doc Martens and, like, they've got wide leg jeans on. They're wearing, like, a band t-shirt. They look like they haven't had a shower, but, like, you know that they have.
I'm obsessed with that. No, it's like I started it like to be like, I don't know, there were some really wholesome ones and there were some bad ones, but it was kind of 50-50, and then it grew so quickly that I had to stop putting the wholesome ones up because people would just like be really mean to them in the comments, and I was like, and so then through me not posting any of the wholesome ones, it's kind of taken on its own definition of like soft boys are like just all the absolute worst, and like I can't control what people think a soft boy is really because there's 600,000 of them, but I think that there's there's hope, and I feel like there are plenty of nice soft boys. You know, if you like push to the side the fact that all men are like inherently misogynistic, like there's got to be some kind of hope for those of us who are attracted to them. So I would say that, hopefully we'll stop it with the manipulation at some point, but probably not. Who knows?
I mean, there is something to be said for like men showing a softer side and like giving into their emotions and all these things. But
so much.
Yeah, as long as it's not using it to manipulate women into sleeping with them, then we can let it slide.
Yeah, exactly. But that's another thing, like Softboi, like people who don't know about like the page or whatever, they might mistake it for like soft being bad, like the fact that they're soft and like they have a softer side, and like that's not it at all.
In saying that soft boys are forever, have you noticed them evolving over time? So from when you made the page to now, is there any new trends or anything that you think have popped up? Or
there's some new trends in like the way that people type stuff. Like one thing I've noticed is people putting more people are putting in like asterisks on either side of like doing statement, and like it means like they'll like put a Tinder message and then they'll put like shuffles nervously in bracket in like in asterisks at the end, and it makes me want to be sick.
Or like tucks hair behind ear.
Yeah, like what the fuck is that? I don't know where it's come from, but I don't like it at all.
It's like a shy thing.
So
like,
weird.
I'm shy.
And then and then there's another trend where people put 2 emojis in between every word, which I think came from Twitter, but that's happened a lot more. But in terms of like their personalities, because I thought when I started it, I was like, well, it's got a few people following it. Now I'm going to post them and then the men are just going to learn. Obviously, I was young and like stupid. I was like,
they're going to learn and they're going to stop.
And they're going to stop. I was like, this page has not got any longevity. But still, every single day, it's just like 5, 6 really good ones get sent in. Like it never stops. It never stops.
Gosh.
Apart, like they're becoming more self-aware, I think, because being on dating apps myself, have seen like people on Hinge having a prompt that's like my most irrational fear, and then it's like ending up on Beam Me Up Softboi. Like,
I've seen this. Do you reckon we've seen the same person on Hinge?
It's such a small world.
What are some telltale softboy signs? And do you think that there's different types of soft boys? Like, have you been able to categorize them? And like, what would the telltale signs be for those different people?
I don't know. I feel like one of the ones that pops up most frequently is men speaking to people, usually women, but like it could be anyone, and they just think that they have like a better understanding of like a cultural phenomenon than that person.
Yep.
So all the time it's like, oh, I see you listen to like Led Zeppelin. Like, did you know that they have like 5 unreleased EPs that are like only on YouTube, and like you probably wouldn't know, but like anyway, here they are, and it's just like it's like gatekeeping
or mansplaining. Mansplaining is like definitely a huge part of it, I think, as well. I know we've chatted about the positives to soft boys and kind of said apart from the misogyny, they are quite sweet, but apart from being generally problematic, do you think that there is a darker side to soft boys?
Definitely. There definitely is. I feel like it's not so much to do with like the fact that they're indie or alternative or whatever. It's like the whole nice guy thing, which it overlaps a bit. If there was like a Venn diagram, like the nice guy and the soft boy would overlap a bit, but then on the other side of the circle, there would be like if that man says that they're a nice guy and then they spend too much time on Reddit, it can turn very quickly into like game and like the whole like art of like picking up women, and then that can kind of go down into like like red pill stuff and like incel stuff, like, and it's like, obviously I'm not saying that all like that, but there is like a link, and it is a tenuous thing, but like it is important, like that shit doesn't happen, like it, because it can get really dark on that side of the internet. I just feel like I just don't have any time for guys who are like, I'm too nice for women.
I just think everyone who says that, it's sort of like, well, if you are nice to women, that's great, and you can have female friends, but like, what are you expecting from that?
I know.
What is this niceness? Like, what are you expecting in return? Like, you've got friends and that's fine, but being nice to someone doesn't warrant a relationship. It doesn't warrant sex. It doesn't warrant attraction. And also there are other things. There's so many elements that make people attracted to another person. Like, it could be looks, it could be sense of humor, it could be niceness, and sometimes that might be the case, but it's like niceness doesn't equate to attraction.
I know, honestly, but
it's weird.
Yeah.
And I feel like there's not many girls that say, oh, I'm so nice and I never get guys. Like, I just think it's like
it's
weird.
It's definitely like, I don't want to sound like I hate all men, because I don't.
Yeah, no, you like, don't. It's okay.
I just like, I feel like girls are, we're taught like to be nice.
So did you have any advice to listeners who might be dealing with a soft boy at the moment?
I mean, I feel like if there's a soft boy who's like really pissing you off, but just like block and delete. Like I've that's one thing that I've learned. Like, you just, there is an infinite number of men wearing Carhartt beanies and like cargo pants that will like they are literally infinitely renewing. You can just block this one if they're really annoying you. But if you're just dealing with one, if you meet one on a night out or whatever, and you're like, oh, this guy seems like a bit of a soft boy, like, they are just pretty fun, especially if you're only just going to spend one night with them. Like, you might as well just go for it. Like, I do love a soft boy.
I do love a soft boy too. So if there are any soft boys listening, what would you like to say to them? Just
relax, mostly. Like, just like chill out, it'll be fine. But if not, like, it's fine. Like, I get so many boys messaging me being like, am I a soft boy? And it's like, just relax. Like, I don't have time to answer, and B, you're probably fine. Just use common sense.
Love it. Well, thank you so much, Iona, for joining the podcast. It's been an absolute pleasure.
You
are one of my favorite meme pages on the internet. So it's just been, it's very exciting that you have chosen to come on for the finale episode of Mads World. So thank you.
It's great being here. Thank you so much.
I hope you enjoyed the season finale of Mads World this week. Please let me know on my Instagram. It's at madsworld.mp3 or my website, madsworld.co, if you have any stories or thoughts of your own to share. I'll see you next season. Love and elbow taps. Peace.